Yale is going dancing for the 8th time in school history after beating Cornell in the Ivy League championship on Sunday. It was an exciting Ivy League tournament as the Bulldogs needed a last-second shot to survive against Princeton in the semifinals. They entered the NCAA tournament as the 13th seed with a 22-7 record. Last year they upset Auburn in the same situation. We'll hope to do the same against the Tigers' SEC foe, Texas A&M, this year to make it back-to-back round of 32 appearances. Can they shock the Aggies? Let's talk about that. But before we get into this, if you enjoy college sports content like this, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Also let me know who your national champion pick is in the comments section below. Yale basketball has had a long and storied history, winning 6 national titles in the pre-NCAA tournament days. Back then, national champions were decided by the Primo Paretta poll and the Helms Athletic Foundation. The Bulldogs would be voted the champions from 1896 to 1901, as well as in 1903. Another fun fact about the Yale basketball team is the fact that on multiple occasions they had former MLB players become their basketball coach, and they were also serving as the Bulldogs baseball coach, as well as former professional football players who did the same, even winning their 1903 championship under New York Giant Yale Murphy with a 15-1 record. From 1902 to 1933, they won 7 Eastern Intercollegiate Basketball League Conference regular season titles and did the same in 1949 as they would qualify for their first NCAA tournament, losing in the Elite 8 to Illinois 71-67. In 1957, they would make it back to the NCAA tournament after winning their first Ivy League championship, would make it again in 1962 and 1963 after winning the Ivy League title. That would be their last conference title for nearly 40 years, and their last NCAA tournament appearance for 54 years. In 1969, the Bulldogs would be put on probation by the NCAA across their entire athletic department when they let Jewish center Jack Langer play in the Maccabi games in Israel. All of the Ivy League presidents endorsed Langer's playing in the games, yet the NCAA would put the hammer down in response. The case would be known as the Langer case, and all 7 Ivy League schools would condemn the NCAA's decision, with 3 Harvard athletes protesting the 1970 NCAA Indoor Track and Field Championship by wearing Yale jerseys on the podium. Connecticut Representative Robert N. Giamo said in the U.S. Congress, "The Yale case involving basketball player Jack Langer is tragic. It shows that the NCAA is willing to use any weapon in its continuing power struggle with the Amateur Athletic Union. It shows that the NCAA does not care if it hurts member institutions or individual athletes in the process. It shows once again that the NCAA is under the control of a stubborn, dictatorial hierarchy and does not hesitate to use athletes and schools alike as mere pawns in a game of power politics." In 1999, Yale would hire head coach James Jones, who is still their head coach today. Jones played basketball at Albany and originally worked as a sales executive before deciding to get into coaching. He would start his coaching career as an assistant at Albany before joining Yale as an assistant under head coach Dick Cutchin in 1995. In 1997, he served as an assistant at Ohio before being named the 22nd head coach at Yale. In 2002, they would win a share of the Ivy League title, but played in the NIT, losing in the second round. The next decade, the program would hover around 500, playing in the CIT in 2012, and 2014 finishing as the runner-up in 2014, losing to Murray State in the title game 65-57. In 2015, they would win a share of the Ivy League regular season conference title, but lost to Harvard in a playoff game, missing out on the automatic bid for the second time under Jones. Finally, in 2016, Yale would make it back to the NCAA tournament for the first time since 1962, winning the Ivy League regular season title with a 23-7 record and a 13-1 conference record. They would upset 5-seed Baylor in the first round before falling to Duke in the second round, 71-64. They would win the Ivy League Conference regular season and tournament title in 2019, losing in the first round to 3-seed LSU, won the 2020 regular season title before the Ivy League and NCAA tournament was canceled. In 2022, they would win the Ivy League Conference tournament but lost in the first round to 3-seed Purdue 78-56, and won the regular season title the following year but lost in the conference tournament, leading to an NIT bid where they would lose to Vanderbilt in the first round. Last year, they won the Ivy League Conference tournament title. It would shock Auburn in the first round 78-76, before falling to San Diego State in the second round 85-57. Heading into this season, Jones was 396 and 311 as Yale's head coach. Heading into the 2024-2025 season, Yale was picked to finish second in the Ivy League behind Princeton. They would lose Danny Wolf, Matt Noling, and August Mahoney from last year's team, but returned to Ivy League Defensive Player of the Year Bez Mabang, and sharpshooter John Polakidis. Polakidis made a name for himself last year, hitting key shots against Brown in the Ivy League tournament and Auburn in the NCAA tournament. They also returned Casey Simmons and Yassine Garam. The Bulldogs would have a rough start to the season, starting 2-3 with wins over Quinnipiac and Emerson, but lost to UIC, Purdue 92-84, and Minnesota 59-56, all on the road, or beating Stony Brook 86-64 to head into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame tip-off 3-3. Jones would earn his 400th career win when the Bulldogs beat Fairfield 91-66, would lose to Delaware and Rhode Island before beating Vermont 65-50. They would beat Akron in the Sun Bowl Invitational before falling to UTEP 75-74. They closed out non-conference play with a win over Howard, which started a 13-game win streak for the Bulldogs, which led to them starting conference play 12-0. They beat Brown, Columbia twice, Dartmouth twice, Harvard, Princeton twice, Penn twice, and Cornell twice before falling to Harvard on the road 74-69. They closed out the regular season with a 70-60 road win over Brown to finish the regular season with a 20-7 record and a 13-1 record in the Ivy. They would enter the conference tournament as the 1 seed and as heavy favorites to win the quirky 4-team tournament with -160 odds ahead of Cornell, who had +300 odds. Polakidis finished the regular season leading the league with 19.3 points per game, while Nick Townsend finished with 15.4 points per game and 7.1 rebounds. Mabang would win the Ivy Player of the Year award, and the three all finished first-team Ivy. They had the top scoring defense in the league, only allowing 69.7 points per game, while scoring 82.2 points per game. They were top 70 in net, which had them on a 12-13 projection if they won the tournament. The tournament, which started back in 2018 and replaced the tiebreaker playoff, had been dominated by the 2 seed, which had won 5 of the last 6 tournaments, with the 1 seed winning in 2017. Polakidis would secure the win over Princeton with a late 3-point shot, and the Tigers would miss a buzzer beater to survive the scare by the Tigers. He would also have 25 points in the championship game, leading the Bulldogs to a 90-84 win over Cornell, punched their ticket to the NCAA tournament. Heading into the NCAA tournament, Yale would earn a 13 seed, while match up against Texas A&M in the first round. The Ivy League champ has recorded wins in 2 consecutive NCAA tournaments, with Yale taking down Auburn in a 13-4 upset in 2024, after Princeton matched 2010 Cornell's Sweet 16 run as a 15 seed in 2023, so history seems to be on the Bulldogs side heading into the game. The Aggies entered the game as 7.5-point favorites and won out-of-conference games over Creighton, Ohio State, Purdue, and Texas Tech. The Aggies also beat top seed Auburn on March 4th, giving them their first win over the top-ranked team in the country in school history. They averaged 74.3 points per game and hold opponents to 67.9 points per game. They come in ranked 18th in net and 17th in KenPom, going 7-9 in Quad 1 games and 9-1 in Quad 2 games. Yale, on the other hand, comes in ranked 74th in net and 73 in KenPom, going 1-2 in Quad 1 games and 3-3 in Quad 2 games. The Bulldogs have won 16 of their last 17 games and have the experience on their team that has shocked the world already in the tournament. Can they do it again? The game tips off at 7:25 p.m. Eastern on Thursday on TBS. What do you think? Can Yale pull off the upset? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out one of my other videos YouTube thinks you will love right here. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, remember to embrace the grind.